Hey there boys and gals, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host Maverick, where today we are going to be watching Kenja no Mago episode 6. So, last episode where we left off, I believe a war was about to break out, courtesy of our main antagonist. They have a conspiracy or whatnot, and in which the neighboring empire has decided to invade the nation where Shin and company are currently residing in. And so, no, that's that, right? And apparently Shin is also going to, and his fellow students are also going to be part of the army as well. So, is this going to represent a shift in tone of the series to more serious topics? Right, I mean, so far it's still been light-hearted so far, even though some of the action scenes are a little bit brutal. But war, in any case, is not exactly a laughing matter, right? So I'm wondering if this is where the series is going to take a more serious turn. Or, of course, it could just keep its lighthearted tone, and that would be fine as well, because then we would have something to feel good about, right? So, in any case, let's just get into the episode. And let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. The Empire Camp. Oh, about that. Okay, they got ambushed. Yeah, you got played, King, or Emperor, or whatever you're called. Really? Okay. Okay, so we're not fighting a war. The war is over. Alright. Hmm. I would have thought that the demons would not come out until after the two sides exhausted themselves, uh, fighting each other. Oh. Okay, so this is the capital of the empire. Now, like I said, I can kind of understand that his plan is to take over the empire. Just why not wait until the main forces have been decimated? Just saying. Just saying. Alright, let me skip this real quick. And back. Several days later. So maybe Scrolldrum is aiming for something else. Rest? I don't know. Shelter room. Oh. Okay. So this dude's gonna become the the emperor? You know what? I kind of like that. No big long-winded speech or anything. Just boom, he's dead. I appreciate that. I appreciate the pacing of this anime. No? Okay, I guess in retrospect he did, he did fulfill his purpose. Demonoids? Holy time skip. But like I said, I like it. Right to the point. And it's Shin to the rescue. Hmm. Knights and magicians. Hmm? Muscles for brains? Alright. This is also a pretty classic conflict. The ones who use magic versus the one who uses physical strength. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sword Saint? Alright. Alright. Mm. Alrighty. So probably Shin is gonna have to show his dominance in some way. Yeah, yeah, yeah. McGregor. Yeah, that's like the best way. That's the best recourse. Ah, that's these two. I guess this is like the classic. And this is how they form a connection. Well, they seem to be. Like, they don't seem to have any problem there. Did you two go through the same thing? But still. Okay. This is funny. Not to mention they don't have search magic, right? What does it look like? Oh, boar? I mean, is there anything saying that you can't eat it after it's dead, even if it's demonized? Whoa. Just like that. Alright. Holy crap. And what about Maria? So these two are sisters in. Oh my god. Okay, so this episode is really just a Shin show. Is he gonna use some... Ah, that's what I'm talking about. Oh? Catastrophic category? Ooh. Should you be doing that in a forest? Mm. This one is probably also voiced by the person who's voicing Miranda is probably also a novice voice actor, a novice AU. Oh my god, you two. Oh? Oh? Okay, let me mute the music, but I did recall that the actual music video for this was going to be released, but I didn't know that it was actually within the anime. Alrighty, so I think there's probably going to be a lot of people wondering what in the world is that ending song and why is there suddenly a 3D model dancing to the ending song, right? Well, okay, so that is actually the singer who sings the ending song, Atoteki Vivid Days. Her name is Yoshinanami. And so Yoshinanami is actually a virtual personality, right? It's that girl that you guys just saw dancing in the ending scene. So this is something that's really popular in Japan nowadays. They have these virtual characters, not Vocaloids. Like their voices are not computer synthetic voices, but it's actually they just have this avatar there. And in the case of Yoshinanami, they actually held an audition for girls to audition for this role, and so the one who was eventually chosen became the voice of Yoshinanami, and so she voices this character, and she's basically a virtual singer in a sense. They call it virtual personality or virtual talent. So besides this, they'll also do some MC work, like host shows, or they also do what is called VTuber, a virtual YouTuber. So they'll do that as well, where they'll have this virtual avatar going around and just doing various things, right? But in any case, the reason that the ending song was changed to Yoshinanami and her dancing is to celebrate the release or the announcement of the release of this particular ending song, this single. So I do expect that probably in the next episode we'll get back to our regular ending animation. But in this case, it's just a special thing. And if you didn't understand what a virtual personality or virtual talent is, you'd probably be very, very confused. By the way, Yoshinami, her persona, her avatar, whatever you want to call it, is also the voice of Miranda, the female knight within this episode. So, you guys recall when I mentioned I do believe that this is a novice voice actor, a voice and novice seiyuu, because it's actually really easy to pick up how they don't really have the correct inflection and tone in their voices for these kinds of characters. So it was quite obvious that it was a novice doing this, and that is true, right? This is the debut work of this personality, Yoshinanami. And by the way, the voice behind this avatar, basically there's no info, right? She will remain anonymous, probably for probably forever, if we're being honest. And I guess it's a sort of way for you to have a way to have a following. Even for one, you can retain your privacy. For a second, maybe in terms of your looks and whatnot, it's not as outstanding as some others. So by having a virtual avatar, you completely forgo all the needs of this. So it's quite interesting, and it's one of the trends of Japan right now. So anyways, that was that. So let's talk a little bit about this episode, right? So first of all, Shildarum. So judging from what happened within this episode, I think it's quite clear that he wants to create a sort of demonoid kingdom, and to turn everybody into demonoids. Something of that, something similar to that, anyways. I did think that maybe he was trying to force the two armies to fight against each other to weaken the armies of both respective states. I didn't realize that. So actually, that was part of his plan, except that he didn't really need to wait until the two of them were fighting to the death, and he decided that just one engagement was enough for him to overthrow the empire and take power, right? So that is that part. And I do actually quite enjoy him disposing of the emperor in such a clean and efficient fashion, right? There's no big gloating, no big backstory, those monologues, antagonist monologues, villain monologues that we're so accustomed to. It's just like, and, there's no flouting, right? Oh, he's here, imprison it, restrict him, boom, he's dead. And I love that. Like, one of the main things that I really like about this anime is its pacing. Now, some have said that it's maybe moving forward a little bit too fast, but personally, I really do appreciate an anime that doesn't really waste my time on trivial matters, right? Within this anime, I feel like we're either advancing the plot, or we're looking at action, or it's trying to show us something funny. And so there's very few times when I'm like, okay, let's get on with this, right? Which, to be fair, did happen in this episode, especially in terms of the conflict between the knights and magicians, right? So this is a fairly commonly used trope, and so again, this work has never had the pretense of being original, right? It uses a ton of cliches, but even so, it manages to be enjoyable. Like, so, say for instance in this case, even though we already know the cliche between the knights and the magicians, they hate each other, or they have a grudge against each other or whatnot, they're not really putting too much effort into building, the resentment on either side. We were shown a few glimpses of it, a few hints of it, and then immediately we get into the resolution, right? So I enjoy that as well. Although I will complain a little bit and say maybe the knights were humbled a little bit too quickly. Like, seriously, they're at least, top of their class, right? They couldn't at least try to hold their ground for like 1 minute. Like, it was inevitable that they would get their asses kicked, but let them show off a little bit, right? I mean, I find it kind of embarrassing that these so-called top of the class were defeated so handily without even, like, they didn't have any kind of tactic, they didn't have any kind of formation, and basically, there's basically no difference between them and, say, a civilian, right? So I was a little bit disappointed in that part. I guess maybe they're saving it for later and to show how their partnership with magicians work, but I'm just saying, even knights on their own, they should be able to at least put up some kind of fight, right? And not just be completely useless. So that was that part. And Shin taking care of the situation in the end, that was quite unexpected. I thought that they were going to go through this training process actually relying on the teamwork between the two, but I guess they wanted to show something cool. In that case, though, I have to say, I think I give a little bit more points to Shildarum for his magic in killing the Emperor within this episode. A little bit more cool points goes to him. Shin, I feel like the animators maybe missed the opportunity to show us really something cool, especially with magic of this scale. They could have easily made it more epic, right? So a little disappointed in that, but otherwise, again, not that much to complain about this episode. I like that it was fast-paced, I like the humor and whatnot. The setting was a little bit cliche, but thankfully we sped through that part, and so, yeah, another good episode. So I guess, what can we expect? what can we expect? Maybe next episode we'll probably continue training and really see how magicians and knights work together. Or maybe we're gonna think of some new tactics or whatnot, or they could just, you know, say screw it and start fighting against the demonoids. And that's also possible, right? But in any case, so that's been my review of Kenja no Mago episode 6. And so, yeah, I will see you guys next time, next week. So until then, bye-bye.